There is a job in New York where a 22-year-old earns $200,000 a year, sleeps 5 hours a night, and in a leaked internal survey said he was a victim of workplace abuse. 77% of his class said the same. This is Wall Street, the most famous money ladder on earth. And here is the strange part. Almost everyone on it, even the millionaires, is being farmed by someone higher up. By the end of this video, you will see who actually gets rich on Wall Street. And I promise you, it is not the wolf on the trading floor. He is just better paid prey. Because at every rank of this ladder, there is a number. And behind every number, there is a deal you are not being told about. Today, we climb it, rung by rung. The intern, the analyst, the associate, the vice president, the managing director, and then we open the books on the house itself and who walks away with the real money. This is Rank and Ledger. In today's episode, Wall Street, rank by rank. What each level is really paid, what that money costs them, and why the biggest fortune in the building never appears on any salary chart. We start at the very bottom of the tower, with a kid who has not even graduated yet, earning more than his parents. One thing before we climb. If you want to see who really gets paid in worlds like this, banks, cartels, empires, subscribe now and leave a like. It genuinely decides whether this channel survives. You are 20 years old, a college junior from New Jersey. Your mother is a nurse. Your father fixes air conditioners. And this summer, for 10 weeks, a bank will pay you like a surgeon. The summer internship pays around $110,000 a year, prorated. That is roughly $2,000 a week to a kid who was stacking supermarket shelves last summer. Why would a bank pay a 20-year-old that much to fetch coffee and fix spreadsheets? Because the internship is not a job. It is a 10-week audition for the golden ticket, the full-time offer. Half of them will not get it. So for 10 weeks, they volunteer for everything, stay latest, smile widest. The bank gets a floor of brilliant, terrified free overtime. The ladder has already started teaching its first lesson. You are always auditioning. What does the audition actually look like? Nights rebuilding 100-page pitch decks because a senior banker changed one word. Dinners eaten at the desk, ordered on the company account after 8. Weekends that exist only in theory. The intern learns the first arithmetic of Wall Street. They are not paying you for your ideas. They are buying your hours, all of them. Our kid gets the offer. He cries in a bathroom stall, quietly so nobody hears. Then he signs, and the ladder pulls him up a rung into the meat grinder, because the next rung up is where Wall Street takes its real payment. Not in money, in years of your life, paid 2 at a time. The first-year analyst earns a base salary of about $110,000 to $120,000. On top of that, a year-end bonus of $60,000 to $100,000 more. $200,000 at 22, more than triple the average American salary. His mother tells the whole family. His friends call him rich. And per hour, he might be earning less than a manager at a fast food place. Divide it out. $200,000 across 5,000 working hours is $40 an hour before New York taxes and New York rent. The offer letter is a headline. The hourly rate is the truth. And this whole ladder is priced in headlines, because here is the trade. In 2021, 13 first-year analysts at Goldman Sachs made a slide deck about their own lives, and it leaked. Average work week, over 95 hours. Average sleep, 5 hours a night. 77% of them said they had been victims of workplace abuse. More than half said they would quit within 6 months, unless something changed. One wrote that the job was inhumane. These are the winners. The kids who beat 50 applicants for the seat. The bank's answer to the leaked survey was polite concern, a promise of protected Saturdays and a raise. The machine does not apologize. It reprices. And the seats were full again by autumn because the line outside that building never ever gets shorter. Most last 2 years, maybe 3, then leave for private equity or quit finance entirely. The bank knows this. The analyst class is designed to be burned and replaced like fuel. But the ones who survive climb to a rung where the ladder finally starts paying interest. And the ones who leave are not failures. Leaving was the plan. 2 years of a bulge bracket name on the resume is the toll gate to private equity, where the money is larger and the hours merely brutal. The analyst grinder is not a career. It is a passport office. So why do they stay? Here is your first question, and answer it honestly in the comments below. Would you trade 2 years of your 20s, 100 hours a week, for $200,000 a year and the ladder's next rung? Tell me below. Which explains the darkest joke in the building? The bank spends 2 years training its brightest people for someone else. It does not mind. There are always more. The ladder is not fed by money. It is fed by ambition, and ambition is the one commodity New York never runs out of. And bonus day is the ritual that keeps it burning. One morning each winter, the whole floor goes quiet as, one by one, they are called into a glass office and told their number. Grown men measure their entire year, their worth, their standing in that one sentence. Then they walk out with a neutral face and text their parents. That is the ladder's genius. It does not just pay you. It ranks you in dollars every single year in front of everyone who matters to you. Money stops being money. It becomes a scoreboard that follows you home. And the first big score a survivor can chase sits one rung up, where the ladder finally starts paying more than it takes. Almost. Because above the analysts sits the first rank that gives orders instead of just taking them. The associate is the analyst who survived, or an MBA hired in above the grinder. All in, associates take home roughly $300,000 to $450,000 a year. And if he came the MBA route, he arrives already owing 2 years out of the workforce and $250,000 in business school costs to buy a ticket back into the same building, one floor higher. On Wall Street, even the ladder's entrances charge admission. The hours barely improve. But something else changes. The associate now runs the analysts. The person who was screamed at learns to scream. Wall Street does not soften people as they rise. It sharpens them. And now the money starts to change him. The studio apartment becomes a one-bed-in-a-doorman building. The suits get tailored. He picks up dinner bills he cannot quite afford because looking rich is part of the job description now. This is the ladder's second lesson, and it is the quietest trap in finance. Every raise comes with a lifestyle that eats it. They call it the Golden Handcuffs. The more you earn, the less you can afford to leave. If you think the numbers so far are obscene, hold on. Everything below this line is what Wall Street considers the help. And remember the promise from the start, the wolf who is really prey. We are 2 rungs away from meeting him, because the next levels are where salaries stop and fortunes start. Welcome to the officer class. Vice president sounds unique. It is not. A big bank has thousands of them, but the pay is real. All in, a VP takes home roughly $500,000 to $700,000 a year. The VP's real job is translation. Above him, managing directors promise clients the impossible. Below him, analysts and associates must somehow build it by Monday. He is the middle of the hourglass, and all the sand runs through him. By now, the ladder has taken its toll. He is 35. He has money he has no time to spend, a marriage held together by a shared calendar, and a phone that must never ever be off. The trade from the analyst years never ended. It just got a better exchange rate. And here, the ladder quietly thins. Up to VP, promotion is mostly survival. Beyond VP, it becomes arithmetic. You must bring in revenue, or you are politely managed out to make room for someone who will. They call it up or out. Nobody gets to simply stay. And still, the VP looks up. Because one rung above him, the arithmetic changes species. Pause the video here and guess. What does a managing director at a major bank take home in a good year? Type your guess in the comments before I tell you. I will wait. Locked in? Here comes the answer. A managing director's base salary is modest by his world's standards, but the bonus is not. All in, an MD earns roughly $800,000 to $1.5 million in an ordinary year. Rainmakers, the ones who land the biggest deals, can take home many millions. If you guessed close, respect. Now here is what the number does not tell you. The MD is not paid for spreadsheets. He is paid for relationships. His entire job is to make men with billion-dollar problems pick up his call first. Very few ever stand here. Of every 100 analysts who enter the grinder, only a handful survive the 15-year climb to managing director. The rest are gone, to funds, to startups, to saner lives. The MD is not just rich. He is the last one standing. When a company is bought or sold, the bank charges a fee, often 1% to 2% of the whole deal. On a $10 billion merger, that is $1 to $200 million for advice. The MD who brought that client in owns a slice of that fee. That is the real game at this altitude. It is also a seat with an ejector button. In a bad year when deals dry up, the $1 million MD is the most expensive line on the cost sheet, and banks cut MDs the way they cut interns, in a single Tuesday morning. At the top of the ladder, the fall is simply longer. Here is your second question for the comments. The MD earns in 1 year what the nurse who raised our analyst earns in 200. Is that the price of talent or just the price of standing closer to the money? Tell me below. And yet, stand at the top of this ladder, look at the MD with his millions, and you are still not looking at the winner. Remember the promise from the start. The wolf is better paid prey. To find the real winner, stop looking at the people and look at the building. Because the house does not climb the ladder, the house owns it. In 1940, a writer named Fred Schwed told an old story. A visitor to New York was shown the harbor and the banker's yachts and the broker's yachts. And the visitor, naive and innocent, asked the only question that has ever mattered. Where are the customers' yachts? That question is 80 years old and Wall Street still has no answer. Because the machine is not built to make customers rich, it is built to collect fees from every trade, every deal, every fund in good years and in catastrophic ones. Win or lose, the house gets paid. The regulator itself has done this math for you. In its own investor bulletin, the SEC shows that a single extra % in annual fees quietly consumes tens of thousands of dollars from an ordinary retirement account over 20 years. 1%. Compounded. That is the whole business model wearing a tie. And the hedge funds upstairs refined it into poetry. 2 and 20. 2% of your money every year just for holding it, plus 20% of the winnings when there are winnings. When there are losses, the 2% still arrives. The house invented a casino where the dealer tips himself, and beneath it all hums the quietest collector of them all, the market itself. Every share that changes hands, every single trade of the billions each day, sheds a fraction of a cent to the exchanges and the middlemen. No opinion, no risk, no bad years. Just a toll booth on the river of money, open around the clock. And if you want proof, look at what happened when the ladder actually broke. In 2008, Wall Street's bets collapsed the world economy. Millions lost homes and jobs. The taxpayer wrote the banks a rescue check of $700 billion. And that same year, the year of the bailout, Wall Street firms paid their New York employees $18.4 billion in bonuses. The state comptroller counted it himself. The losses went to the public. The bonuses stayed private. Heads, they win. Tails, you pay. That is the final ledger line of the whole tower. And once you have seen it, you cannot unsee it. So here is the final ledger of Wall Street. The intern trades his summer for an audition. The analyst trades his youth at 100 hours a week. The associate trades his freedom for golden handcuffs. The VP trades his family's evenings. The MD trades his soul's Rolodex. And the house trades nothing at all. It just holds the ladder and charges everyone on it for the privilege of climbing. Our kid from New Jersey is 39 now. Managing director, $2.1 million last year. His mother still tells the whole family. And some nights, in the car outside his house, he sits for a minute in the dark and does the same math you're doing right now. Who actually got rich here? And whether it was him. So, here is your last question. And it is the one that matters most. If the house always gets paid, win or lose, boom or crash, is Wall Street a ladder at all? Or just the world's most beautifully carpeted treadmill? Tell me below. I read every comment. Next time on Rank and Ledger, we climb one of two ladders and you decide which. The CIA or a hedge fund? Vote in the comments. And if this story held you, do the two things that keep this channel climbing. Leave a like and subscribe. The ladder continues.